Happy Sunday. This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, June the 8th, and this is chat number 417. So this is our 417th Weight Watchers virtual meeting. We are back in regular Wi-Fi tonight. Thank you for everyone who was so patient last week, and sorry, I've spilled some water right here. So it's just going to distract me for just a second. But thank you to everyone who endured the trip from the campground up to the Peaceful Social for a try and fail, try and do okay run at our chat last week. And hello to Emma. It is good to see you. If you are new tonight, so if we have any new people tonight, please let us know that you are brand new to the chats. Even if you're not new to the chat, but it's your first time like actually talking, let us know, because we would also love to welcome you. And hello Elaine, good to see you. So last week was it was a test in patience maybe. Bo had a meltdown when John would not let her have an ice cream. And hello Marianne. He's not on the chat tonight and will not be on the chat tonight because he's trying to make up lost time from not being home last weekend to mow, and he has 2 yards to mow. So I confess for just a second about him, but Bo did not need ice cream. She did not need any ice cream, but it for just a moment so reminded me of the way we react when we don't get to eat what we think we want to. And hello Sarah, so good to see you. And hello Carolyn from New Jersey, and Sarah is from Raleigh, Massachusetts. She had already had ice cream that day. She had already had Burger Master that day. She absolutely did not need any ice cream. And hello Trish from California. But you know, sometimes if you are that dead set on getting something, sometimes you just need to go ahead and indulge a little bit, hello Carolou, and get it out of your system, instead of letting her indulge a little bit and getting out of her system. And they had run and played in the pool and gotten hot and sweaty and had some actual kind of sort of food. But instead of letting her indulge herself, she erupted into an epic meltdown in the truck with him for the entire chat, while Alyssa and I tried to battle the rain. But anyway, so yeah, thanks to everybody who stuck in there with us last week. We are in perfect Wi-Fi tonight, so the chat should be good. No impending weird weather. Yeah, so everything should be good for tonight. And thank you, Sarah. I thought that one was a really good one. Sarah said she loved the frozen bag in the freezer hack clip. The TikTok that I did today, that one is a good one. If you have not joined us yet over on TikTok, we have 62 of the 10,000 followers that we need. So I need just a couple more of you all to go, to head on over there after the chat and go ahead and join us on TikTok. Yeah, because I've got to get up to 10,000 and we have 62. But it has been fun so far. I haven't actually watched any TikTok videos. Everybody thought that I would get obsessed. Hasn't happened so far. And no, Sarah, she never did get that ice cream. She'd already had it once that day, so I can't feel too sorry for her. And let's see, hello Sherry from Cape Coral, Florida, and hello Sandra from Pennsylvania. Good to see you. Today is Sunday, June the 8th. Just a little secret, this coming Friday the 13th is somebody's birthday. Yeah, so yeah, if you were thinking of getting me something really special, you can go ahead and mail it today and I will get it for sure by Friday. I'm kidding, don't send me anything. Okay, so again, if you are brand new, please let us know, because we would love to welcome you. If you want to watch these later on Facebook, Facebook only holds these for 90 days, and then you will have to go back and watch these on YouTube. That's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Or you can go to the If You Have an Egg website. That is www.ifyouhaveanegg.com. And I hope that you all will also join us, on TikTok. Okay, so the TikTok ones are kind of fun, because they're like less than 2 minutes so far. Lily has been posting the chats on there too, but the ones that are fun are like they're less than a couple of minutes, so they're quick, easy, in and out, and I've enjoyed doing them. And hello Karen from East Tennessee. Okay, this week's focus header. Focus over in the If You Have an Egg Facebook group, and if you are not yet a member of the If You Have an Egg Facebook group, I'm sure one of our lovely ladies will post, and hello Lynn, will post that link so that you can join. And please remember to answer the 3 questions. I did have to decline another person this week. I let 3 in, but I had to decline one because she did not answer those 3 questions. It's super easy, just answer the questions. But over in that group, our fearless leader Julie, who leads our focus group, we'll be talking about packing your plan, and we're going to talk more about that here in just a minute. And thank you everyone for the early birthday wishes. But we'll be talking more about packing your plan later, or not later, here in just a couple of minutes. But Julie's going to be talking about that over in the If You Have an Egg Facebook group. Next, our public service egg announcement. Hello, Hattie. Our public service egg announcement for this week is that the WW app had another update that kind of snuck up on me, and I didn't realize it until I was scanning something yesterday and I went to change the serving size. So I wanted to show you all just really quickly. This is our public service egg announcement. And thank you, Melissa. Melissa just shared the link for the TikTok. Remember, we only need, what is that, 9,938. Did I just do the math right? 9,938 more people. That's all we need. That's all we need. Okay, so this public service egg announcement is to say they've changed, Weight Watchers has changed how you change a serving size, and I don't know what this new voodoo is, but the format works great and it looks really simple as long as you know what the cups to decimals formula is. But if not, woo, watch out. So this one, we're going to do some Prosecco. Hello, Sandra. Good to see you from Naperville. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. You just go to the WW app. So you're going to get on your app, and I'm just going to quickly show you so that we can get on with the rest of our chat. But when you go to scan, so like a normal scan, when you scan the item, let me move my hand out of the way. Oop, hold on. I've got to get the barcode in here. Okay, so when I scanned that barcode, it came up as Prosecco Angel Hair number 9. And so hopefully you all can see this. The new format, which literally snuck up on me now, the quantity is in this little box here, and then the serving, like if it's going to be a cup or ounces or whatever, is over here. Here's the only issue with this. So that serving size says 1/8 of a box. So if you need to change it to something else, and hello Angela, good to see you. So if you need to change it to something else, when you click on 8, the 8, now it's 0.12. So you actually have to change that to, and if you wanted to make it like choices are grams, ounces, so let's say instead you're going to make it ounces. If you wanted to make it like, let's say 1.5 ounces, you actually have to type in, you have to back that out and type in 1.5 for the ounces. Okay, Weight Watchers, that's too much. That's too much stuff to do. Okay, so that was my public service egg announcement for the day. And Carol, you're going to have to explain it to me. So Carol says if you select fractions, it is tracked, measured just like the old way. So I do not know how to do that. You're going to have to tell me how to do that so that I can show everybody. Okay, next thing's next. I do have another public service egg announcement for only the girls in Knoxville. Well, the rest of y'all can listen, but Knoxville, East Tennessee, this kind of area. So this is very, very important. I'm just going to stay on it for just a second, but if we have any of our East Tennessee girls here, you need to know, in case you didn't already know, that the Cedar Springs location for Weight Watchers has closed. So, I mean, I think they gave them 2 weeks when they decided that they were going to move out, because it just financially did not make sense anymore to stay in that large of a space. They had actually been in that space for 50 years, but it didn't make sense any longer to stay in that large of a space when they were down to that many meetings, because they probably have maybe 1/5 of the meetings that they used to have, you know, back in the day. It's okay. Things are changing. You know, life is always changing, and it's okay. Change is okay. But when they announced that they were not going to be renewing their been there for more than 5 decades lease, the building owner asked them to be out in like 2 weeks. So they're quickly relocating everyone who was going to the Cedar Springs Weight Watchers location here in Knoxville. They are relocating all of you all to other churches or some other meeting facilities. So if you haven't already gotten that notification, you need to be paying attention. Might need to get on Connect and go to the Weight Watchers Middle and East Tennessee group on Connect and just check that out, or look for a message from Gwen. Also, girls in Powell, like Angela, like Melissa, like Anne, like, who am I missing? I'm missing a lot of you all. And don't take it personally. It's just a lot to think about. So Tuesday night, girls in Powell, we've got to, and guys, we have got to make a presence. And I'm only gonna dwell on this for just a second. We have got to make a presence. We are 2 low attendance meetings away from our Tuesday night meeting just being gone. This is a franchise location. This is a franchise location for Weight Watchers. They have allowed Gwen, who has loved on us for years, who has supported us for years, a lot of us, most of our adult life, Gwen has been there. They have allowed her to continue meetings even when the franchise was losing money. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to continue losing money, okay? So as much as she loves us and as much as she wants all of us to be together, and we want all of us to be together, if we don't fill that place, she is not going to be able to do anything about it. So Knoxville girls, Powell girls, people in the East Tennessee area who have been driving in from Jellicoe and Clinton and wherever, if you come to the Tuesday night meeting, and even if you don't, you need to come to the Tuesday night meeting, we have to keep our numbers up. We are 2 low attendance meetings away from it just being gone. There will be no warning. There will be no do-overs. There will be no takesy-backsies. It will just go away. So East Tennessee girls, especially Knoxville, Powell, Clinton, Paul's, kind of us, Fountain City, all of us that are close, be prepared for me to be wearing you out to make sure that we have better than just okay attendance on Tuesday nights. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, next item, our Good Egg Award goes to Katie in Florida. So Katie made herself a chore chart that is similar to the one that she made for her kids. So these are not they are chores. Some of them are chores, but they are more things like, before you ask if you can, because it's summer, and she has 3 kids. So it's more things like, read for 1 hour before you ask for the iPad, or help one of your siblings before you ask for a treat, or whatever. So it's a thing, they have to complete one task before they can do a summer fun day, special thing. So, but Katie made herself, the one for the kids is pretty cool. She made herself a chart, and she has things on her chart like, you must drink 8 ounces of water before you can have a caffeinated beverage. I don't know if that's every time. I don't know if she's having 1 caffeinated beverage in the morning and that's just 1 time, or if it's twice or 3 times or 7 times. I don't know how much caffeine she drinks, but one of the things on her chore chart was you must drink 8 ounces of water before you have a caffeinated drink. So notice it didn't say you can't have a caffeinated drink. It just says you have to have 8 ounces of water first. And another one was eat 3 servings. This one was funny. Eat 3 servings of vegetables before you put anything in your Ninja Creamy. Okay, so apparently she's been wearing out the Ninja Creamy because one of the things on her chart was to have 3 servings of vegetables before she ever put anything even in it. Anyway, you are a good egg, Katie. Keep it up. Those were some great ideas, and it was great ideas for the kiddos too, so I will definitely be enjoying some of those. Okay, this week's topic, we're talking about packing our plan. So I know that's a weird way to phrase it. It's more like picking our plan, but the more I talked about it and the more Julie and I talked about it, I get it. So it's like deciding what your plan's going to be and kind of packing it to take with you. And I don't mean like putting it in a suitcase. It'll make sense as I talk. And aloha, Kathy. So did you know that according to Walden University, one way that stress can affect decision making is by limiting your ability to make novel decisions, so like good decisions, and adapt to change. So stress can limit that. As an example, in 2012, they had a study that found that the participants who were subjected to the stress of preparing for a medical selection exam tended to make decisions out of habit. So whatever these decisions were that they were making, they were decisions that they were making out of habit, but out of habit. But the participants who were not under the same stress were able to make new decisions, adapting them to the situation at hand and the perceived consequences. So, researchers concluded that the brain resorts to habitual decision making because that exerts less demands on our cognitive resources. Okay, that was a lot of big words in a little short period of time, but basically what they're saying is if you and it says hello and happy Sunday, Sarah. Yeah, and because it's backwards, it's it's hard to read. But basically what they're saying is the same thing that Weight Watchers and Gwen and we've been talking about for years and years and years, is that when you make decisions during a calm state or a cool state, you have the opportunity to make some different decisions maybe, or some better decisions, or things that wouldn't, come under a normal situation if you were under stress. But if you're trying to make decisions under stress, your brain literally, and you can't, it's a real thing, you cannot help this, your brain literally has to resort to something that takes less brain power. So let's say that you were in a calm situation and you were making out what your grocery list was going to be, as opposed to have 3 kids on your back, your hair's on fire, I don't know, plumber's getting ready to show up at the house or whatever, and you're trying to make your selections at the store. You literally can't make, your brain just has to go down the path of least resistance and be like, and hello Joycelyn, and be like, okay, chips, carrot sticks, but we're going to get this, and blah, 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 and just grab stuff because it has to go down the path of least resistance. So the chart that I found for this week, which Casey will post, it's this one, she will post it in IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, it kind of overlaps, and it says, so one side of the brain is the reasonable mind, and it said its facts and logic are in control without emotions. So like Mr. Spock, your facts and logic are in control without emotions, such as love or anger or things like that. An emotional mind, so reasonable mind is in a calm, cool state. Emotion mind is a hot state. And that says emotions control thinking and behavior without reason, with like reckless abandon, and whatever the path of least resistance is, that easiest path. But those two things can come together, those circles can overlap into a wise mind, and the wise mind has knowledge, you're smart, you've learned things, experience, so you can think things the way you've done them in the past, and common sense. So we're going to break down a typical weekly planning chart and see what happens when you make decisions during a calm, reasonable mind versus that same planning during a hot, emotional one. So what I did is I made a chart, and I can get Casey to post this on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. If any of you all want this, we can post it just as a blank chart, and then you can fill it in yourself. But this has things like, this has 7 days of the week, and they are labeled Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is down here in the middle, and then it has a spot for a to-do list, and it has a spot for notes. So in this example, I'm going to run through everything that I have on this list because this is a typical week for me. I'm going to run through everything that I have on the list, and we're going to make some decisions in a hot state, like again, hair's on fire, the plumber's coming, gotta go, versus a calm state, and then we'll make some decisions based on that. Okay, everybody take a breath, and we'll go. So Mondays, and this is for me, this is not your schedule, this is my weekly planner. So Monday, workout at 5:30 a.m. Walk with Karen at 8:30 a.m. Go to the pool with the girls. Track all of my meals. Take a listen to piano at 6 p.m. Read 3 chapters of my book. So that's on my weekly planner for Monday. Tuesday, walk at 5:30 a.m. Work by 7 a.m. Finish 7 projects here at work. Track all my meals. Eat lunch. Read 3 chapters of my book. Go to my Weight Watchers meeting with Gwen. And all y'all in East Tennessee are going to be there with me, okay? I'm just saying. Don't make me come put her on your to-do list because I will do that. Okay, Wednesday, walk at 5:30 a.m. Work at the shop, so that's our location that's about 45 minutes from here. Be at work at the shop at by 7:30. Take a complete inventory of everything in the building. Track all of my meals. Have a picnic lunch with John. read 3 chapters of my book, and then meal plan for the entire rest of the week. Thursday, work out at 5:30 a.m., be at work by 7 a.m., finish all the estimates that I have, make and eat lunch, get Alyssa to track by 6 p.m., read 3 chapters of my book, make and eat dinner. Friday, work out at 5:30 a.m., and that's with Gary, who tries to kill me every week, but work out at 5:30 a.m. with personal trainer, be at work by 7 a.m., finish all the designs that I have. There's a stack of them. Can you see them over here? All these little orange sheets. Finish all of my designs, make and eat lunch, go to Alyssa's track meet at 5:30, make and eat dinner. Saturday, walk at 5:30 a.m., be at work by 7 a.m., plan and prep meals for the next 7 days, eat lunch, redo my garden, all the areas that need to be redone, weed the entire yard, and set up all of my new water features. Okay, on the to-do list, I have finish one book, which 3 chapters, 3 chapters, 3 chapters, 3 chapters, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would get me to finish one book, track all of my meals every day, and then work out every day. And then on Sunday, go to Sunday school, church, and have the chat. So that's a pretty full week. Let's make some decisions. So if I was making decisions about what was going to get done and not get done in a hot state, so let's say on Monday that somebody calls in sick I'm supposed to be off on Mondays, so let's say that somebody calls in sick to work, all of a sudden that's a hot state. And then, and I'm not trying to like will anything to happen, so Kelsey, no ma'am, you may not be sick tomorrow. So, but let's just say a string of events happens and all of a sudden this is not working out. How can I make a decision? Do I go work out? Do I go ahead and go in? Do I come into work? Do I skip working out? Do I skip walking with Karen? Do I walk with Karen? Do I go to the pool with the girls? Am I going to come here? Am I going to do that? Whatever. Can I read 3 chapters of my book? How am I going to get Alyssa to piano? How do I make these decisions? Tuesday, another de-escalating day. Am I going to be able to walk? Should I walk? Should I come on into work? Am I going to be able to finish 7 projects? I don't know. Can I track all my meals? Gosh, that seems overwhelming. How would I track all of my meals? All this is happening. This whole domino effect of things is happening. How am I going to get all that done? And I'm going to read 3 chapters of my book. And I have to be at that meeting with Gwen. I have to be there at the Tuesday night meeting because I've already told everybody that we have to be here. Hello, Barbara. I've already told everybody. Wednesday, oh my gosh, I didn't get done with Monday and Tuesday. How am I going to get Wednesday done? How am I going to walk at 5:30, work at the shop at 7:30? How am I going to take a complete inventory? We have over 700 slabs and remnants. How am I going to get that done? How am I going to track all my meals? Oh my gosh, did I even have time to make the picnic lunch that I'm going to take with John? Do y'all see where I'm headed with this? All of this hot state, making decisions in a hot state, that is not the way to do it. So that was our emotional mind. And I don't know if you noticed, but I was getting frustrated. I was getting concerned that I wasn't going to be able to get all this done. It was just, and Barbara, this is an example. Okay, we're doing an example of making decisions in a calm state with a calm mind versus an emotional state. Okay, so this is just an example. I am breathing. Okay, so you can see there was a lot of emotion. The emotions were controlling the thinking and the behavior. I mean, you saw I got faster and faster and faster and louder and higher, and whatever. And I was making decisions without any reason, without any backup, without looking at any prior information that I had. So instead, I am thinking about my week ahead, okay, in a reasonable, calm mind, okay? So I'm going to let the facts and the logic take control. I'm not going to make this there might be some emotions, just because I constantly have emotions going, but it's just going to be so calm. So let's look at it this way. With a calm mind, slow down and breathe like Lynn and Barbara said. So let's see. Is it feasible that I work out at 5:30 and walk with Karen at 8:30? No. So under a calm mind, I'm going to say that for tomorrow, instead, I am going to work out at 8 a.m. with Casey. That's just for this week. So calm mind, I'm gonna work out at 8 a.m. with Casey. Then we are gonna take the girls to the pool. And I'm gonna say that I will track one meal because we'll be having too much fun at the pool to track all of my meals. Get Alyssa to piano at 6. I can definitely do that. I've already got that planned. I've already planned to be home early so that I can get her to piano. Read 3 chapters of my book. Let's make that one chapter of the book. Tuesday, can I get up and walk at 5:30? Sounds pretty reasonable. Can I be at work at 7? Sure can. Can I finish 7 projects? No. Let's make that 4. Let's make it 4 projects. Can I track all of my meals Tuesday? Yeah. I'll be at work. I'll have my phone. I can track all of my meals. Can I eat lunch? So when I'm calm and I can prepare lunch, then yeah, I can eat my lunch. Read 3 chapters of my book Tuesday night after my meeting with Gwen. That's probably not going to happen. So I'm going to take, because I won't get home until after 7:30. So I'm going to take that off my list, and I'm going to prioritize the Weight Watchers meeting with Gwen. Wednesday, walk at 5:30 and then still be at the shop by 7:30. I think I can make that happen. Take a complete inventory? No. I am going to take inventory of 2 sections. Track all meals. I should be able to do that. Picnic lunch with John. I already purchased it. It's already ready. That should happen. Wednesday night, read 3 chapters of my book. I can do that Wednesday night. I'll have time to do that. And then I wrote meal plan for the rest of the week. No. How about meal plan for the next day? So I'm going to go through and highlight with yellow the things that I'd like to get done. And then I am going to highlight the things that must get done, okay? Because remember, we're doing this in a cool state. We're doing this while it's calm. So the things that must get done, okay, so I've taken the first 3 days, and while we're in a cool, calm state, not letting our emotions take over, you can see that I've made some notes. I've reprioritized. So now I'm not going to jump up at the butt crack of dawn and go work out at 5:30. Karen just got back from Alaska. She's out of the picture for tomorrow for walking, so I can calmly take that off of my list. So I'm going to wait and go work out at 8 with Casey at the gym. Then I'm going to track one meal. So I took off track all meals. I'm going to track one meal tomorrow, at least one meal tomorrow. I am going to get Alyssa to piano by 6 o'clock, and then I highlighted in yellow because I'd like to do it. I think I'm just going to try and read 1 chapter of my book. If I get more done, great, but if not, I'll at least get 1 chapter done. The next day, I've made a calm decision. Go ahead and get up at 5:30 and walk, be at work by 7, finish 4 projects instead of 7 of them. I will have time to track all my meals because I'll be here and aware. I took off read 3 chapters. I will not be home in time to read 3 chapters. I am going to my meeting with Gwen on Tuesday night, and then same for Wednesday. So you all can see making a plan, because I was making it during a calm time, not when I'm trying to rush and hurry and do anything. It's calm, no emotions. I've got a reasonable mind. I did not have to, trust me, Carol, this was for the chat. I do make a list every day, but every day I have to be willing to say, that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Casey actually used to make an extremely detailed daily list for herself, and she was wearing herself out because she would say, I'm going to have this done by this time done by this time, and then she would just be like, ah! And she was not making a decision during a cool state. So instead now, while she's calm, while she's cool, she makes these 3 things absolutely have to get done tomorrow, and then a list of things that she'd like to get done. Okay, does that make sense? I need somebody to make a star goal for this coming week that they are going to make a plan for, let's say, one day, one meal, one something during a calm time so that you can look at it, be reasonable, make some cool, calm, emotionless, sounds like so Vulcan, decisions. Okay, and Sandra is exactly right. We are at the 30-minute mark for tonight's chat, and for new people, this is a 1 hour long chat, and at the first 30 minutes we talk about the Weight Watchers topic from the prior week. The second 30 minutes we do something fun. This week is a science experiment, so everybody get your safety goggles on. Just kidding, it's not that kind of science experiment. It is time though for everyone to get a drink of water. This is the only time all week that I know that y'all get a drink of water. So everybody get your drink of water. And then I am going to put on my apron. I'm going to actually get the microwave going. It'll make sense here in a minute why. Okay, new people, I also put on an apron whether or not I'm cooking for the second half, so that when you go back and watch these, you will know which part is the first part and which part is the second part, because the second part always has an apron. And because this seems like it's going to be a little bit of work for this science experiment, I'm going to go ahead and get my hair out of my way. And I don't know if you all noticed or not, but for Friday, I had, on that weekly planner we were talking about, I had to do this while I was in a calm, cool state. So on Friday, on the planner, I have, okay, little piece of hair. On Friday, I have workout at 5:30. That's with Gary. Be at work by 7. Finish. I changed it from all designs to 2 designs. Make and eat lunch. And then be at Alyssa's track meet by 5:30 and make and eat dinner. Friday is my birthday. So the only things that are going to get done on Friday is working out. Mom in this cool state is working out with Gary at 5:30. Being here at work by 7, working on my designs, or telling people, hey, it's my birthday. Do not have to wait till Saturday. Making and eating my lunch, because I will also be at work by myself. No one is working with me Friday, and I definitely want to be at Alyssa's track meet for my birthday. So that's how I'm planning on spending my birthday. Okay, so the second half of tonight's chat is a science experiment. Part of the experiment is going on over here as we speak and has been going on for an hour and 36 minutes. Okay, last year I had a garden. This year I have a garden. I've planted things in different quantities this year than I did last year. And last year I planted in different quantities than I did. I know, I'm sorry. Barbara said, oh my gosh, it's going to be Friday the 13th. Yes, yes. And Friday the 13th is always my favorite day. And when I was 13, I turned 13 on Friday the 13th. So I love Friday the 13th. Okay. And I love that movie. And Friday the 13th, the movie Friday the 13th, Jason came and did all his stuff at the camp on Friday, June the 13th. 1980. I turned 13 on Friday, June the 13th, 1980. Okay, how coincidental is that? 13 on the same day that Jason, came to the camp. Okay, so just in case kids are watching, I'll just say that's it. That's all I'll say about that. Okay, so this year I planted different quantities of things and a couple of different things in my garden than I did last year. Last year I planted differently than I did the year before, and that year before, that 2 years ago, was still downtown. This one is in our raised bed garden that is behind Casey's house, and I've been trying to tweak it. So first year of me having a garden without my mom here was mayhem. I planted all the wrong things. I killed half of them. The birds carried off half of them, even though my mom had told me what to do about that. I didn't really listen to her. I planted things that in the wrong season. It was just, whatever. Then I went and bought bushels of green beans and bushels of peaches and bushels. There were like tons, like quarts or gallons of all these things. with the grandiose ideas that I was going to can all this. I only got green beans and peaches successfully canned that year. Then, then the next year I tried fermenting for all my extra produce. That is not for me, y'all already know that. Then I tried pickling. That worked pretty well. But there's only so many pickled vegetables you can eat. So last year I tried, and I haven't tried any of these. I've been waiting almost an entire year to try this just to see if this would really, what was it I heard today? Track, to see if this would track. And I think that means would be about right. Is that correct? If we have anybody here that's under the age of, say, 35, y'all let me know if that's the correct use of that term. So I waited a whole year to see if this would track. And if I'm not using that correctly, I apologize, Lily, Casey, Kelsey. Yeah, I apologize. Okay, so last year I had too much yellow squash. I had too much straight neck zucchini. I had too many tomatoes. I mean, how can you have too many tomatoes? I had too many tomatoes. And I did not have enough jalapenos, but I love them. And I knew I was going to plant more this year, so I wanted to see how this would work. So I tried drying, dehydrating for the first time. And if this works, I don't know, I'll start saving my money for a freeze dryer or something. So I read a book from a lady last year who only dehydrates, only freeze dries her produce from her garden. She has stopped canning. I'm not saying I'm going to stop canning, because now that I kind of know how to do it, kind of have the hang of it, I'm not going to stop that, but I wanted to try this. So this is zucchini. This is dried zucchini from last year, dehydrated zucchini from last year. This is dehydrated jalapenos from last year. I will say this, one of the recipes I saw for the dehydrated jalapenos was to grind them, and it said you do need to wear goggles and a mask, because apparently if you try, and I'm not grinding them, but if you try to grind them, apparently that dust can make some, and I imagine it can make some pretty noxious things that you need to protect yourself from. These are dehydrated yellow squash, and these are dehydrated Roma tomatoes. So the dehydrated look just like they did when I dehydrated them last year. They smell good. That actually smells like sun-dried tomatoes. Smells like squash. Smells like peppers. I don't know if it smells like jalapeno peppers or not, but it smells like peppers. Smells like zucchini. No mold, no issues. I kept them airtight in jars with the lids on in a cool, dry space. So I'm feeling good about my food safety here. But this is where the science comes in. We're going to try and rehydrate them. So I just heated some water in the microwave because I saw I did a little research, not a lot. Went to the library, looked online, did not look at any TikTok videos, but I did see a common theme with everyone who was rehydrating vegetables. They all seemed to do two different methods, or offer two different methods. Some of them had a third method, but I've chosen the two that were the most common. So we'll get to the second one here in a second, and then we're going to see how all this checks out, just to make sure that it looks like it's supposed to. So this one is rehydrating using boiling water. So you're supposed to do 2 parts water to 1 part of the dehydrated fruit or vegetable to rehydrate it. I'm not going to do a ton of each one of these, because then if they do rehydrate correctly, then I will have to do something with these pretty quickly once they're rehydrated. So the first one is zucchini, the second one is the jalapenos. I do want to get these lids back on here well so we don't accidentally let any moisture in. It's pretty humid outside today. This one is the yellow squash. So again, 2 parts of water to 1 part of the dehydrated vegetable or fruit. And apparently things like corn takes an extra long time, but because these started out as very thinly sliced kind of water born vegetables anyway. Method number 1 said to take the hot water and I am not measuring 2 parts to 1 part, but to take, whew, that is indeed hot water, to take the hot water, pour it over the top of the vegetable, of the dehydrated vegetables, to rehydrate them, and let them sit for 10 to 15 minutes. So basically, I guess it's rehydrating them and cooking them a little bit. And Carol Lou, because I don't have a dehydrator, I would love to have a dehydrator or a freeze dryer, but because I don't have a dehydrator, I painstakingly took okay, the jalapeno one is potent, just rehydrating it. I painstakingly took the time and hours to dehydrate these in the air fryer. So I sliced them super, super thin, and then I dehydrated on a really low temperature for hours last year. So we've got zucchini, and let's see, we don't really have 15 minutes. Dang it, I talked too much. Jalapenos, yellow squash, and tomatoes. So those are in the hot water bath, and it's supposed to be 10 to 15 minutes. These though, this next group, these are the ones that have been sitting in room temperature water for an hour and like 44 minutes now. So here is the zucchini. There's the zucchini. Here is the jalapenos. This one is the yellow squash. And once you do this too, you should probably use the water that's going to be left over to compost. That's a whole nother story. And then here are the tomatoes. Okay, so one more little step to this. So the ones that have been sitting here for an hour and now about 45 minutes are looking pretty plump. I'm thinking this is about as plump as they're going to get. I have opinions on whether or not this worked. But until I actually try these, I don't know if I'm going to know if they work. So, as a comparison, I have, let me scoop these up a little bit. As a comparison, now do any of you all dehydrate? Is there anybody out there who's a pro who can give me some advice on, did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? Is there anything I should do any differently? Any pros out there? So we're going to make a couple of slices of each one that's about as thin as I started with, just to see how they compare. So here are the slices of the zucchini. Of course, this zucchini doesn't have as many seeds. Let me see if I can get to the part, just so that we're doing apples to apples. There we go. Okay. So here are 3 slices of zucchini that are about, the same thickness. Then I'm going to skip the jalapeno until last because I don't want everything else to taste like jalapeno. Okay, then I'm going to do 3 slices, thin slices of yellow squash. This year in my garden, I am trying, I'm trying okra, but something keeps eating it. And then Kelsey talked me into trying a zucchini instead of a straight neck zucchini. It's one called Rempicante. I'm really hoping that it's going to turn out. So here are my oh, Carol Lou's son dehydrates meat to make jerky. Awesome. Yeah. So here are the 3 yellow squash slices. Then I'm going to try and get this tomato as thin as I got it. I'm only going to make 2 little slices of it. So here are the slices of, oh yeah, thanks Barbara, that would be great. So there are the slices of the tomatoes, and last but not least, the slices of jalapenos. Now, the guy at the grocery store today, I'm sure, so bless his heart, his name's Earl, and if you all happen to shop in Knoxville, Earl works at the Kroger on Broadway on Sunday afternoons, and he is adorable, and I will wait in line to get Earl. And I know he thought I was crazy because I bought one yellow squash, one straight neck zucchini, and one jalapeno and one tomato to make sure that I got exactly the same kind that I had dehydrated. And there are my jalapenos. So now let's see what these, of course now my hands smell like jalapenos. And let's see, Vicky says, ooh, she dehydrates apples, pears, and all fruits. Interesting. So yeah, so how does that turn out? Okay, here again, there are the zucchini that are rehydrated. Doesn't really look like these are the ones that are rehydrated in the hot water. Here are the ones that are rehydrated in the water for 2 hours. Again, it just smells like zucchini. So this rehydrated zucchini would probably be good if I wanted to further slice it up and make like some zucchini bread. You could probably do that with some spirals or something. A zucchini bake, it would be great for that. I'm gonna skip to the yellow squash because two of these are looking better than the others. So yellow squash, not bad. So the zucchini's okay. The straight neck zucchini is doing okay. This one is the yellow squash in the hot water. This one is the yellow squash in, it's just been sitting for an hour and 40 something minutes. And this is just a thinly sliced regular squash. So not bad. Not bad at all on the yellow squash. It is rehydrating quite nicely. Of course, this was a bigger squash, but it is rehydrating quite nicely. So I'm going to say yellow squash is probably a winner. Next is the tomatoes. This is the tomato. This is Aroma tomato. This is the one that is rehydrating in the warm water. This is the one that is rehydrating for an hour and 45 minutes now. And here is a thinly sliced, same kind of Aroma tomato. So if you were going to cook with this, not bad. The rehydrating is actually doing pretty well. The one that's just been sitting for 2 hours is doing the best. So that one looks the closest to this. So I think the tomatoes, so for the zucchini, the straight neck zucchini, I would probably just put it in something and just bake it rather than try and rehydrate it. And I have not forgotten the jalapenos. The yellow squash, I think you could pat this dry after these are rehydrated and either pan fry it, or you could use this to bake. You could make like a squash casserole or something like that. These tomatoes are plumping up just like the tomatoes were. Now, you wouldn't want to dice these up and make a salad or anything with them, but I think this would be really nice, like on the top of spaghetti, or on the top of pizza or something like that. So these are plumping up very nicely. The ones that have done the best, though, are the jalapenos. I'm shocked. So these are the jalapenos that are in the warm water. These are the jalapenos that have been sitting here for 2 hours, almost 2 hours. Here is a thinly sliced fresh jalapeno. And now I know it's not as bright green, but look how close that is. I mean, it is reconstituting even to almost the same thickness. And then this is one that's been sitting for 2 hours. That's pretty darn close. Like, it's the same size. It has rehydrated. I know the middle of it just fell out, but it has rehydrated to the same size. Of course, it's not as bright green because it's not fresh, but that's pretty darn close. Like, I would dice these up and put them on a taco or use it for salsa or something like that. That would be really good. Oh yeah, Lynn says the rehydrated veggies are great to use in a soup. And you know, if you were making soup, you probably wouldn't even have to rehydrate them. You probably could just dump the dried veggies into your stock pot or whatever you're making your soup with, you know, and do it that way. So I'm going to say, this is our science experiment, and we only have just a couple of minutes left. So I'm going to say for our science experiment that the jalapenos did the best. They were neck and neck with the tomatoes. So the tomatoes did really well. The rehydrated tomatoes, the ones that were rehydrated for a couple of hours, those did really well, like really, really well. The jalapenos, again, the ones that were left for a couple of hours, I mean, look how nice that looks. I think those have done way better than the ones that were rehydrated with heat. Probably neck and neck on the yellow squash. It's looking pretty good either way. The zucchini, I don't know. Maybe they were too thin to start with. This again, I don't know. That one's not too bad. Might need to be a little bit thicker. Maybe I did them too thin. But again, these would be great in a casserole. These would be great, you know, combined with something else. So that is our science experiment done. If you all have any tips or tricks for drying things, if you, you know, if you know some other way to try it, I would love to try some of the apples and things that y'all were talking about. But if y'all have any other ideas, it was extremely time consuming last year, but I did it here at work. So I would just slice them up really thin, put them in the air fryer, put them on a really, really low heat. I think the lowest mine will go to is let's just look real quick. Is 180. So I put them on 180 and I just kept going for hours and hours and hours and hours until they were the right consistency to be considered dried. But if anybody has a dehydrator or a freeze dryer, if you've had some really good success with it, let me know, because we would love to hear about it. But I hope this helped with something. I think I'm going to try drying some more this year, the things that I end up with a good harvest of, which doesn't seem like it's going to be okra. I'm so irritated with whatever keeps eating my okra plants. But yeah, but hopefully that's going to help somebody out. So y'all have a great week. Thank you so much for being here. I do hope that you will hop over and just sign up for, follow me. I don't know what you do on TikTok. Whatever you do on TikTok, I hope you'll go do it. It's just @_IfYouHaveAnEgg. So I hope y'all will go do that. We only need 9,000, I don't even know what the number is, 9,958. Maybe not, no, 48. 9,900, I only need 9,948 people, yeah, to go over there and, yeah, and follow me or subscribe or whatever it is you do over there. But y'all, thank you all for the early birthday wishes. I think a track meet is the perfect way to spend my birthday, so I'm super excited about that. But y'all have a great week. If you're watching this on YouTube, that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Go ahead and let that next video roll over. The next one's going to be a little, because it's the one from the not campground. But yeah, you'll still like it anyway. It's fun. So let that next video go ahead and roll over, and pretty please hit that subscribe button and click that little bell. That's free. It's free to hit the subscribe button, and it's free to click the bell. And did you know that only like 20% of the people who watch our videos on YouTube, only like 20% of those people actually subscribe? It's for free. It's for free, and you don't have to go hunt it down. You already know when the new videos get posted. But anyway, y'all have an amazing week. I'll check in with you by Friday, so I'll let you know how my birthday's working out. But y'all have an amazing week. Knoxville girls, I will see you Tuesday night, okay? So Pinky promised me, I need the Knoxville girls, Knoxville, Fountain City, Halls, Powell, Clinton, I need y'all to Pinky promise me that you will be there on Tuesday night. We will not lose this meeting, okay? If I can help it, we will not lose this meeting. But y'all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Good night.